Hello, this is Arielle from Inconspicuous Bear, and I'll be narrating the heroic version of the Gorefiend encounter in Hellfire Citadel from a Guardian point of view. From a tanking perspective, Gorefiend is probably the first survival challenge you'll encounter in Hellfire Citadel, no matter what or how much gear you have going into it. So be prepared for bursts of really high damage, and things for you to, or ways for you to maximize your damage while also making sure that you're not taking unnecessary damage from various abilities in the encounter. There are actually two distinct locations for the encounter. There's the outside, which is where the encounter starts, and there's some people actually get swallowed up by Gorefiend and go into his stomach to do things to spirits. So we'll cover the inside first and then do the outside. The inside of the inside of the stomach, you'll be tanking something called a Gorebound Spirit, if memory serves, and this thing has two abilities you need to watch out for. The first thing is called Fell Fury, where after a cast time, you will hit the ground basically in front of him and create a cloud of green gas crap that'll do a bunch of damage and then inflict you with a fire dot, which does about 30k damage every 1.5 seconds for 12 seconds. You can run out of this, and it's definitely very encouraged. You should run out of it if at all possible, because A, the damage is avoidable, so why wouldn't you? And B, it stacks. So, and he'll do the Furies before the dot wears off. So if you get hit by multiple Furies, you will get a problem where your dot will start to stack up and really, really hurt, especially when you go outside. So just be aware of that and try and get away from it as much as possible. The second thing he does is called Bellowing Shout. Yeah, Bellowing Shout basically quadruples his damage, so that really needs to be interrupted. You can interrupt it just fine on your own, so just be aware of that. And when the spirit, he'll also do this little slam thing when he goes outside, but the trigger for the Gorebound Spirit to go outside the stomach for his health to hit 70%. It's very unlikely that you'll be able to do that on your own. So what I generally do, and what I'd probably recommend, is that when there's about 15 seconds left on your debuff timer, the debuff that you get when you go into the stomach that kills you if it expires, you want to make sure to call for DPS to switch to the spirit so that it makes sure that it gets out, and then so any DPS inside the stomach will switch to the spirit, quickly bring it down to 70%, and then you can escape with plenty of time. To escape the stomach, simply walk into the middle where there's the little thing. There's a thing with pillars and it glows, and yeah, you walk there and you get out of the stomach. When you leave the stomach, your spirit will have basically escaped with you, I guess, and it'll be running around, and you need to pick it up so that it doesn't go around murdering people. And when it's outside, the spirit, I guess, whatever it's called, no longer has the Fury attack. Instead, what it has is something called a Fell Flames, which every successful melee attack basically gives you a fire dot, which is 15k every second for 4 seconds, and it stacks. So every successful melee attack will give you a stack of this. Basically, to minimize damage, there's no real reason not to just taunt swap on cooldown, just to minimize damage. I mean, yes, in theory, you could probably tank it up to 10 stacks, but why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. Just minimize the damage, swap every time taunts off cooldown, and you're good to go. That's basically the taunt swap mechanic. It's a combination of the getting eaten into the stomach and then the spirit. The only other thing you need to be worried about in Phase 1 as a tank is something called Crushing Darkness. It's basically just a general raid mechanic. There'll be a spiral of progressively exploding little shadowy circles on the ground. Just don't stand in them. 200k damage. Don't take it. There's no reason to. And those are all the mechanics you have to worry about in Phase 1. It's just the stomach, the spirit, and the Crushing Darkness. In Phase 2 of the encounter, which is basically the burn phase, there will be unstable souls, which look like little sparks, that are going to try and go towards Gorefiend. As a tank, your primary job in this phase is basically just to intercept the sparks and make them explode before they reach Gorefiend. They spawn in kind of random locations, and you should probably split up the room between you and your co-tank so that one of you takes one half of the room, the other one takes the other half of the room. These will do about 73-ish K shadow damage to you when they explode, so it's really not that big of a deal. Just make sure that you're running back into the healing circle, which will be where all the healers are and doing their AoE heals and crap, so that you can receive benefits of passive healing during this phase, because there's also constant AoE damage on the entire raid. And it's really important that you make these circles explode away from the raid, because they do additional damage. to everyone that's close to them. So it's like 55k-ish to everybody, but it's additional 20k if they explode on top of someone, or to everyone within 10 yards of when they explodes. Make them explode far away, and you can prevent a lot of damage to your raid. Talents are going to be pretty standard. It's going to be Feline Swiftness, Scenario Ward, Soul of the Forest, Stream of Snares, and Pulverize. There's no reason to take any other set of talents. You could, theoretically, again, take Heart of the Wild for a bunch of burst damage during the burn phase, but in Heroic, you're better off just making sure that you're staying alive as much as possible and soaking those sparks when you're going to need to. In Mythic, maybe you want to take Heart of the Wild for that burst phase. I don't know, but for Heroic, don't bother. Just maximize the survival. As for tips or little tricks or whatever, basically you just want to make sure that you're rolling cooldowns when the spirit is alive, because you're going to be down at least one healer up above, so you're going to have basically whatever your healers are -1, which means your healing, outgoing healing is going to be reduced. Plus, there's all sorts of AoE healing and movement that's going on for the rest of the raid. So you want to make sure that you're minimizing the damage as much as possible. So when you're tanking the spirit or whatever, use a trinket like Tablet, or just a good time to use Bark Skin, maybe a charge or Survival Instincts. Just make sure that you're using those cooldowns when you can in order to make your healers' lives a lot easier. Hope you enjoyed this video, and good luck in Hellfire Citadel.
Wow, these dooms.
Essence.
Feast in 5.
Essence. Almost full health. Kill it first.
Up, barrier 1.
Can I get another hero, please?
Gotcha.
Tranks being used.
Smoke bomb.
Can't hear you. You're in tunnel.
Rally B.
Revival in 10.
Spreading out in 10 seconds.
Go ahead and revive.
Use a personal if you get low. Get out. Get your 5 yard. Keep doing the mechanics.
A lot of room by the stairs for the.
Helps on his head.
Everything going in slow motion. Down, right now.
Yeah, what the hell is this animation?
What is...
Oh, that's free.
Two, one. Got the thing.
That is not good.
Control the ads.
Swap now.
Kill the constructs. Kill the spirit.
And swap.
Essence. Kill the essence. Kill the constructs. Get away from the constructs if they're chasing you. Rest Church when he's dead.
Construct up.
He's down. Kill the construct. Another construct.
Beware.
Feast. Kill that essence.
Essence up. By the gate.
Kill these two ads. Run away from the construct. Kill the essence.
Bree, go
Kill a
ahead
boss.
and use your CD early. because
We have
there's no.
mana for it.
Yep.
Health potions and personals if you need them here.
Do we have a trank and a barrier?
Nope. Other than Sarah's, I think. But that's later.
Cool down.
Revival SB if we have it.
In 8 seconds, rally V. Rally come up. Alright, rally VE now. The barrier.
Woo!